It's time for Smart Money Moves. Entrepreneurship, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll discuss the mindset needed to launch a successful business and break down the pros and cons of striking out on your own. That's coming up right now on Smart Money Moves. Hi, I'm Marcia Griffin, and I'd like to welcome you to Smart Money Moves, Building Wealth for Everyday People. According to the Small Business Administration, people who are self-employed generate more money for themselves and their families compared to people who don't work for themselves. Since 1995, small businesses have created 62% of all new jobs in America. Many people think about being an entrepreneur, but getting started is a whole nother story. Joining us today with the inside scoop on how their businesses were started, along with ideas you may consider, are Chanel Turner, CEO of Food Dre Vodka, and Andrew Mellon, known by some as the most organized man in America. And Andrew runs a professional organizing business. I'd like to welcome you both to Smart Money Moves.
Thanks, Marcia. It's great to be here with you and with Chanel.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have both of you. Oh, this is so exciting because millions of people are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. There are some things that they need to learn from both of you. So I'm going to start with you, Chanel.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you always wanted to be an entrepreneur?
I would definitely say yes. Entrepreneurship is somewhat indoctrinated in my family from my grandparents. I have a lot of aunts and uncles who are entrepreneurs. So I eventually knew that one day I would want to have my own business, run my own business, and work for myself. So yes.
Did you all? What made you get into the vodka business?
Now that was that was a crazy idea, but one that proves to be a great one down the road. At the age of 25, I was amongst friends, and we were just having a good time, and we were drinking vodka. I won't say which one at that time.
Yeah.
And and we actually ran out of chaser, and but no one wanted to go to the store to buy more chaser, but no one wanted to drink the vodka straight. And it dawned on me that most people, when they think about vodka, they think about the first thing they're going to mix it with. And I said, I wish there was a 80 proof vodka that I can just pour over ice and enjoy. I mean, there's some great vodkas across the country, but here, I couldn't quite find one that I actually would want to just sip and enjoy. And that's when I started looking into the spirit industry, understanding that it's a very lucrative industry, but not really understanding the challenges within the spirit industry. But through my research, I learned that this industry is what they call recession proof. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. When people are celebrating, they're drinking. When things are going so right, people may have a drink. And so the world can be in turmoil and this industry will still thrive. And so for me, I just thought it was a great industry to get into.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Andrew, talk to us about what created your entrepreneurial spirit. What put you on the path?
Well, before I did this work as a professional organizer, for 20 years, I worked in the theater. So I was an artist before I became a business owner. And the reality of being an artist, as anybody who works professionally and aspires to work professionally as an artist, is that you have to be an entrepreneur. You have to make your own opportunities. Whether you're a painter, a dancer, a musician, a theater artist, as I was, you have to, if you're not hustling to create work or to get your next gig, you're not working. And so it was a surprisingly easy transition in that sense from being an artist to running a business. I mean, the business itself, becoming a professional organizer, being somebody who was paid to solve problems for other people was a natural progression from me as a nonprofit arts administrator and as a director and a producer. Similar skill set, it just was working in the private sector in a different way than I had been working when I was working in the nonprofit world.
So, Andrew, tell us, what is the greatest challenge that you've had to overcome in starting your business?
You have to be self-motivated. Nobody is going to get you up in the morning. Nobody's going to say it's time to go hustle. It's time to go do something. You're either going to make it or break it based on your willingness to do what's in front of you. And sometimes it's like a joke among entrepreneurs, right? I mean, you are the CEO and you're also the janitor. I mean, everything that has to be done
That's right.
from the stuff that nobody wants to do falls to you, as well as all the fun, sexy, delicious stuff that everybody imagines. Like when you look at an entrepreneur like Elon Musk or Oprah Winfrey, and you think like, oh, it's parties in Santa Barbara all the time, and it isn't always that, right? I mean, when she was a journalist, right, it was probably doing crap jobs that nobody wanted to do until she built the brand. And then it was like, oh, it's always been like this, right? Or Elon Musk or, Richard Branson or any of the people that we would hold up as people who have made something out of nothing, right? Jeff Bezos and his wife were filling envelopes in their garage before Amazon became the behemoth that it was. So you just have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done and then move on.
Absolutely. Do whatever it takes, work 24/7, call yourself whatever, not just CEO, but as you said, janitor. Chanel, what did you learn, or what have you learned as an entrepreneur that really has surprised you?
Well, I'll definitely say I've learned a lot in the last 12 years since just being in this industry. I think the biggest thing that I've learned is surround yourself with people that believed in your brand, right? Having those around you that are just there for the ride will never really help you get to where you're trying to get to. You need to have people around you that believe in your brand, in your vision, that's really trying to help elevate you to the level that you're trying to get to. I think that was one of the hardest lessons learned throughout these 12 years. And so that has kind of made me keep my circle a lot tighter and not be as expansive as I was in the early stages, because I really couldn't tell if people were, they believed in it or believed in what I wanted to do, or they were just here for the ride. And that showed itself over time.
Absolutely. And Chanel, in starting your Foudre, did you have money saved? Did you have to borrow money? Financing is a big issue.
It is
for entrepreneurs. And what happened with you?
So for me, I funded Foudre by my own direct investment. So I did have some money saved, but I entered into this industry somewhat blindly, not really understanding the money that I put in initially was only going to help me start my product. It wasn't going to get me to market. You need a whole nother set of money to help the marketing aspect of the wine and spirit industry. And so my mother, which is one of my best friends, and she's just been very supportive throughout this entire process. I had to lean on her a couple of times to help me out, to help fund some of the things that we were trying to do once the product was complete. So between myself and her, we've been making it happen.
Good for you. Good for you. So back to you, Andrew. What are some things that you feel entrepreneurs need to know? Now, I know in your business, you're dealing with a whole lot of people, and you and I have actually worked together. Andrew has helped me get my life organized. But tell us just a little bit about what you found as an entrepreneur. Did you have to raise a lot of money, or did you just kind of build things through the years?
Well, so in contrast, because my business was built on a service as opposed to a product, fewer startup costs, because it was really, I was trading my time, my labor was what I was selling. So there was no there were no startup costs. I just had to be able to show up and do do the work. Over time, as the brand grew, and I wanted to start creating products, educational products. Once I started speaking professionally, once I wrote my first book, though all of those things added to the cachet of the brand, the diversification of the brand. But it all began as I was a direct service provider, so I had to get the first gig, and then my business grew through word of mouth. I didn't do any paid advertising ever until we started to create products that we were selling, programs, educational programs. Those required a certain amount of money to create visibility for them. But as a direct service provider, it's true what they say, right? I mean, a referral is the best way that anybody can support an entrepreneur by saying, they did a great job for me. If you are looking to solve this problem, call so-and-so, because they did a great job for me. They'll do a great job for you. And then you have to do a great job, right? I mean, because your reputation on the ride and on the line, and so is the person who referred you. So you don't want to, you never want to make them look bad for referring you. So the stakes are high. And also, if you're good at what you do, you get to be the best kept secret until you're not the best kept secret anymore, until you become the household name. But again, that's the thing that looks like it happens magically overnight. And I've been doing this work for 25 plus years. Wow. So
wonderful.
It doesn't happen instantly.
So Andrew, and I want you, Chanel, to answer the same question. What is one thing, or maybe there should be two things that budding entrepreneurs should focus on?
I would say time management, and knowing what it is that you're selling, being able to understand pricing, what your value is, understanding where you want to go as far as revenue goes, doing the math. Again, speaking most specifically for anybody who's interested in a service-based business, right? When I first started working, I was billing at $25 an hour, and I was delighted that somebody would pay me 25 bucks an hour to do what I do. I work for a lot more than that today. And I'm able to say no to work today because of the groundwork that I laid. And that doesn't make me, like a stuck-up snobby person. It's just the better you become at what you do, the more choosy you can be. I mean, those of us who are successful entrepreneurs, we've all worked for those, dream clients and those nightmare clients. And the benefit of longevity is that you get to work for more dream clients over time than nightmare clients.
I want you to answer the same question. We know that there are a lot of entrepreneurs out here, at least people who are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. What should they focus on? Your thoughts?
Andrew definitely said it best. Time management is so key when you're your own boss, right? Time wasted could be revenue lost. And so therefore time management is key. But more importantly, knowing the industry that you're getting into. For me, getting into the spirit industry and understanding the different categories of spirits. And then once you identify, where you want to be in this industry, then you set goals, right? You want to set small goals, and small goals turn to larger goals down the line. It's highly important that you understand who your customer is. And who your customer, who you may want your customer to be, may not be your retention or your repeat customer. So you have your target customer, and then you have the customer who is going to be your repeat customer. And sometimes you have to shift your marketing strategy and plan to kind of align with how your product is actually doing in the market. We all have visions. When I started, I wanted to try to attract the 21 to 30 client base. And then I realized that my return repeat customer were those who cared about what they were putting in their body. The 21 to 30-year-old could care less about my vodka being made from non-GMO corn. None of that matters to them. And it didn't have any added sugars or anything like that. It's a kosher product. They could care less. But the more health conscious individual, that was appealing to them. And so we quickly had to shift our marketing strategy to align with how our product was being received in the market. So knowing your industry, knowing your target customer, and more importantly, time management. It's so important.
What do you think, Chanel? Are you working 24/7, or are you able to relax?
I am working 24/7. My family, my friends say to me all the time, you need to take a break. You just need to relax. And for me, I'm still even though I've been in the industry 12 years, in this industry, 12 years is really nothing. I'm still in the infancy stages of my brand. And so for me, I can't sleep. I have to continue to grind and push so that I can, have the success stories such as Tito's. It took them 20 years and I'm only in year 12. So 24/7 for me. I don't really take too many breaks.
Absolutely. And I know you work 24/7, Andrew, but a question for you, Andrew, and I certainly want to get back to Chanel on this one. Andrew, did your organizing business increase or decrease during COVID, and why?
So I have a business that is both B2C and B2B directed. So B2C, business to consumer, B2B, business to business. So my business to business work is corporate training, is public speaking. All of that was either canceled or postponed as a result of COVID. Because I have also a B2C business, suddenly everybody was at home, face to face with all of their clutter and disorganization. So we just pivoted very fluidly from all of those speaking gigs dried up, and we started these de-stress your mess challenges, which was a great way, since everybody was at home, to bring the clutter concept right to where they were, because they were in the midst of it, and meet them right where they were and give them an opportunity to create some organization and some simplification at home, since now they were working at home, living at home 24/7. It was as a result, we did not experience any downturn as a result of COVID. In fact, we were, if we weren't flat, I think we might have actually picked up a little bit of revenue as a result of being agile and being fluid and responsive to the marketplace at a time when something not great was happening.
And look, Andrew, of course, with everyone being home during COVID, that's when you really realize all the stuff you have around you, things that you need to get rid of. Tell us one thing, just one little morsel of hint that you would suggest for people who have a whole lot of stuff around them. They're not hoarders, but you've got things that have been built up for years and years. Tell us one strategy that you would suggest that we do to unclutter.
Well, I'm actually going to give you 3 strategies.
Okay.
Wrapped up in one, which is the organizational triangle. So one home for everything, like with like, something in, something out. And we'll just do that one more time. One home for everything, like with like, something in, something out. The first 2 legs of the triangle, one home for everything, like with like, that's how you get organized. Something in, something out is how you stay organized. So one home for everything means everything has one home, only one home. We're not going to debate that, but where you keep your keys can be different from where I keep my keys, but your keys have a home, my keys have a home. They can only ever be one of 2 places at a time, in your hand unlocking something or in their home. Like with like means all like objects live together, not most of them, but all of them. So instead of keeping most of the tools in the toolbox in the garage, but you keep that Phillips head screwdriver in the junk drawer in your kitchen because you got a little story about, the knobs are always a little loose. I don't want to go all the way out to the garage to get that screwdriver. Then you remember, oh, this was my clever time management hack. Now I won't forget it. And in 30 seconds, you forgot it. So if you use one home for everything and like with like, you will get organized. Then all you have to do is when something comes in, you get rid of something. Because look, if you've ever said, there's too much to do and not enough time. You just have to ask yourself, why would you spend a minute of your precious time shopping for something you don't need, rather than doing all of those things that you say you don't have enough time to? And I don't care what those are, right? I mean, it doesn't matter if that's baking cookies for the church bazaar or curing cancer. There's no better use of your time than what you want to spend your time doing. You want to build your business, build your business. Don't stop, don't spend your time flipping through catalogs, shopping, or practice shopping. If you need something, you know where to find it. And if you don't need something, direct your energy towards something that actually matters.
I must say to you, Chanel, that bottle that you have for Foudre is phenomenal.
Thank
It
you.
is beautiful. It is a masterpiece.
Thank
So
you.
congratulate you on that. Look, we could just talk all day, guys, to both of you. I do have a question for you, Chanel, and then we'll get back to you, Andrew. Talk to us just very briefly. What is your view about the mindset of an entrepreneur?
The mindset of an entrepreneur is one who's very hungry, one who has tenacity, one that is not afraid to hear no, because no for me is just not right now. It's not permanent. And so you have to be willing to accept the no's and find a way to turn them into yeses or maybes. And so, you have to be very strong, and you have to have a great support system. I say that a lot because, there are times as an entrepreneur, you start to question whether or not you made the right choice to leave your job and do something on your own. Yes, the answer is yes, you made the right decision. It's just that you need those around you to help support your decision that you made and help you push through whatever hurdles that you're facing at that particular time when you're questioning yourself. But you definitely have to have tenacity. You have to have a hustler's mentality in the sense of no matter what's going on, I'm going to make sure I get placed or I get X amount of customers this month. Or you have to be one to grind at any cost to make it happen.
Grinding is exactly right. So, Andrew, as we sort of come to a close, what would you like our viewers to remember?
Well, beyond the organizational triangle, I think dovetailing on what Chanel said was that inside every disappointment is an equal or greater opportunity. So that if you are prone to be a glass half empty kind of person, that's an opportunity, an invitation for you to recognize that about yourself. You don't have to feel bad about it. We understand that, through the brain science, we understand that human beings are actually wired with a negativity bias, right? It's how we survived was, what's wrong with this picture? Where's the potential danger? I'm alerted to it so I can avoid it, right? Or fight it. I can either kill it or run from it. So we have a built-in negativity bias. You as an entrepreneur need to work against that and turn every potential threat into an opportunity rather than capitulating to the threat and saying, oh, right, this is with your eye on the long game. Every hiccup, every bump in the road, every setback is an opportunity to learn something and to grow and evolve rather than to surrender and feed into that negative mindset of, oh, right, this was a stupid idea. I was silly to think that I could do this. What did Thomas Edison said, the light bulb happened because he failed 1,000 times. It was the 1,001st time that the light bulb went on. If he had started at any place along the way before he got to that 1,001st time, he would have said, we can't create a light bulb. But he stuck with it until he got where he wanted to go. And I think that that's really what everybody, if you want to walk this path, you're in it for the long haul, and there are no setbacks. There are just opportunities to get better.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, it does require stick-to-itiveness and just diligence and just positive thinking. Chanel, as we come close to our end here, tell us one or two things that you feel every entrepreneur should remember.
Well, I definitely think that as an entrepreneur, you need to know and remember that you learn so much more from your failures than your successes. I had to learn that. You think that when you're successful all the time and you finally hit a bump in the road when you fail, you're not quite sure what to do, but there's so much to learn from that failure. When you're always successful, you're not learning along the way. So that's one thing I think an entrepreneur coming into the entrepreneurship game should know and understand. And more importantly, you want to make sure that financially you're in a position to do what you aspire to do, or find the resources that's going to help you along the way. Some industries are a lot more lucrative in terms of getting into, but also cost a lot to even get into. So you want to make sure you're making clear, concise decisions on, what industry you're getting into, and the financial gain and somewhat financial burden that can come along with it.
Absolutely. Well, look, you guys are just fantastic. And congratulations on both of your businesses and for being here today. I'd like to thank my guests for the discussion, and especially our audience for joining me today. For more information on this program, Smart Money Moves, or any program produced by WHUT, go to WHUT.org. See you next time on Smart Money Moves. And remember, together we can and will make a difference. Thank you so much.
Funding for this program is brought to you by Wells Fargo, Lakeview Loan Servicing, M&T Bank, understanding what's important. With additional funding provided by 3x30 Black Home Ownership Collaborative and National Housing Conference.
This program was produced by WHUT and made possible by contributions from viewers like you. For more information on this program or any other program, please visit our website at WHUT.org. Thank you.